Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the channel. Once again, welcome to the delayed flight. We are still in Vilnius. I received a question from a friend of the channel that I would like to answer. I will try to answer, actually. I suppose that you cannot distinguish our plane, but I can. Let us go out of here and find our plane. Yes, it is this one here, the small one. We have the Dragon. We have the C-172 of Drucker again. It is very touching, one of my favorite planes. Here is the Dragon. And let me have a look at the question. So in this clip, MSFS Autopilot keyboard commands, how to fly in MSFS 2020. My friend Bas Liftkar writes one day ago, actually. Hi, thank you for this great video. Is there any way I could toggle between navigation mode and heading mode in autopilot through keyboard? A very nice and very interesting question. And in general, there are times that I answer to your question, as you know. Of course, if I know if I know the answer, isn't it? And also if the question is interesting, and this is an extremely interesting question, so I will try to give an answer to my friend Abbas. Meanwhile, we have a look from the tower to see how the weather looks like here in Vilnius. Please give me a second to say something. Aš noriu grįžti atgal šalyje, nelaimingai čia man nepatinka visai ne. Oras čia yra labai blogas, yra visada blogas ir man nepatinka. Mēs esam čia apie 2 savaites ir oras yra visada blogas. Nelaimingai. I was saying that I want to leave from Vilnius. It was very difficult to reach here. The landing was extremely difficult for you who had a look at this clip. I don't like the weather at all. It was so difficult to reach here, the airport, where previously, not a long time ago actually, a 737 cargo crashed quite close, a few meters far from the runway. It is only one runway. And yeah. So let us get back to the point, and let us try to answer the question of my friend Abbas. However, it is a wonderful airport here. I don't know what to do, to stay or to leave.
Well, come on and let me know. Should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go, there will be trouble. And if I stay, it will be double. So come on and let me know.
Can you please leave the plane? This is my plane. You both go out. So this is the Cessna 172. Let us set an extremely simple flight plan. Let's say to Kaunas. I will try the easy way. I mean the keyboard, I press here, so I don't have to use the two knobs. I think it is Echo Yankee Kilo Alpha, isn't it? Yes, it is. So let us suppose that we go to Kaunas. Activate, yes, do so. I suppose it appeared. Okay, we have the most simple flight plan in the world from Vilnius to Kaunas. See how realistic. We see even the seats. We see even the seats trembling. That realistic it is. Yeah, the Cessna 172 is a small plane. You see. So I was thinking. The first thing that we must clarify is what we mean with toggle. What is this toggle actually? What is the difference between change modes and toggle between modes, or change applications and toggle between applications? I think first of all we must clarify this one, because my friend Abbas asks how to toggle between these two modes, nav mode and heading mode. Here actually I'm using both camera modes. This is of course the drone mode, this is why the plane is shaking, and okay, this is the cockpit mode. So let us suppose that you have different windows open simultaneously, or different applications open simultaneously. How do you toggle between these? It is the most famous command in Windows, I suppose. How do you toggle between your different applications when you have different applications open, or when you have different pages open on your screen? Which is this command? Well, the most famous command actually, it is Alt plus Tab. Please have a look. Alt Tab. You see, I have 4 windows open. Actually, this was one of my screenshots lately for another clip. Alt Tab. This is actually Google Chrome, isn't it? Alt Tab once again. Here we are inside the game. And this is the OBS running. Just in case that you didn't know this command, you toggle between open pages or open applications with Alt plus Tab. You see? All these pages are at the moment open. You press Tab, isn't it? And you change each time the page that you want to see. Okay. This one we saw already. Here we are inside the game. Alt plus Tab once again. I also opened a Word document. I continue. Alt plus Tab. Here is the OBS running. And last but not the least, Alt plus Tab. Here is the Google Chrome open. I think I can close this one. Okay. Actually, I will close all these pages. Okay. Now, the second most important command is toggle between the window that you use, the application that you use. For instance, now it is the MSFS, isn't it? And desktop. Just in case that you didn't know, this is extremely helpful. So for instance, if I want to go to the desktop here, it is not that easy. First I must press escape, I suppose. Yeah, I can as well press Alt Enter. You see, Alt Enter. Here it is. Minimize and maximize, Alt Enter, and then I go here. This minus sign, I press it, and here I am to the desktop, okay? The second most famous toggle command, just in case that you didn't know, is Windows sign together with T. Now we toggle between desktop and MSFS 2020, the same command exactly, stands for MSFS 2024. Windows plus D. Windows plus D. Here it is. You see? Windows plus D. Now, these are the two most famous toggle commands that you definitely must know when you are connected to the internet or when you use your simulator or any game that you like. Let us leave from here and let us go to the runway maybe. Okay, CTRL del is this one. I can as well depart from here, you know. The truth is that I would like to depart as soon as possible, but anyhow, let us go to the runway. One runway in Vilnius Airport. Okay, let us not disturb the traffic. Excellent. So we're lined up with the runway now. Y and 2. Yeah, maybe here it is slightly better. Good. So my first 3 saved cameras are Alt 1, Alt 2, Alt 3. Now, which is the most famous command and the most useful command on MSFS 2020 or 2024 if you want to toggle between your saved cameras. I showed you earlier my saved cameras. This is the saved cameras that I use at the moment. We bring them pressing together Alt plus 1 until Alt plus 0. How do you toggle between your camera views? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the command is K, is letter K on the keyboard. Please have a look. I press K. You see, K again. I continuously press K. These are my saved cameras. And if you want to go back, you press Shift plus K. Please have a look. K, Shift plus K. I go back. K, K, K. Once again, and if I want to go back, Shift plus K, Shift plus K, and another time, Shift plus K. Let us have a better look how you can adjust this command. So I go Escape. I go to Controls. And in order not to lose much time, let us go to search by input here. K. Here it is. I have the mouse. Okay. I go to keyboard. Load next custom camera. You set letter K. And load previous custom camera. You set the combination Shift plus K. I suppose you know how to do this. I mean, I have said these things so many times. You go here, for instance, and you clear this. I will not follow the procedure. Okay, I cleared it. And I press K. Here it is. And then you press validate. You want to validate. Actually, that was not needed because I didn't change something. And I return to the game. Resume. Okay. You bring the VFR map with letter V. Here it is. So now the next thing that we have to do in order to answer the question of my friend Abbas is to set the heading of the runway. Just use the knob here. 19 we said. 19. Just turn here this knob and set your heading to 19, which is the heading of the runway. Okay, runway 19. Excellent. I suppose we must be airborne first, isn't it? These are two of my saved cameras. We have a simple flight plan from Vilnius to Kaunas airport. We will not go to Kaunas, of course, isn't it? We will be somewhere here nearby. And as you can see here, better to use this camera. I don't have any mode engaged. There is nothing at all here written, okay? So I will set here an altitude, let's say, of 2000 feet. I can as well use the knob here, but as you know, in general, I use the keyboard command. So this is CTRL plus page up. Let's say something like 2000 feet. We have also an elevation of about 560 feet. Okay. And also Alt V, vertical speed. Here it appeared. I will set here a rate of ascent of, let's say, okay, 1000. Let it be steep. Okay. We see only the vertical speed mode, which is not engaged because I didn't engage the autopilot yet. So I think we are good to go. And also, now here is the command actually that my friend Abbasi is looking for. I will set in the beginning heading mode on. Have a look at the cursor here. I have said 1000 times that it is better to use the knob here. I can as well use the keyboard command, but you may have a crash. So this is more or less here 190, let's say, the heading of the runway. And by the way, the command in order to change the heading is CTRL plus insert. You see 91, 92, 93. Have a look here. Tap each time, otherwise you may have a crash. So I didn't set the heading mode yet. I just set my heading here, which is 190 degrees, the heading of the runway. The task is to get airborne, to engage the autopilot. Here we also see the flight plan, but in general for the VFR map. Okay, it is more visible. The task is to get airborne, to stabilize at how much? Yeah, at 2000 feet, and then to activate the heading mode in the beginning. We will not follow our flight plan. So whatever will be, will be. CTRL to take out the yoke. Okay, let it be. It is more realistic. CTRL del is the command to release the parking brakes. Parking brakes are released. I set also my flaps 10. And we're good to go. Let's go. About 50 something. It will be just fine, isn't it? 60 already. Okay, we are airborne. Now have a look, please. Alt 2. Autopilot is engaged. Alt H. Heading is engaged. We have the heading of the runway. And now I change my heading. Actually, I don't even have to change my heading because we deviate from our flight plan, as you see. My heading is 19. Oh, I also have the ATC. Okay. As you see, I also use keyboard commands for the air traffic control. Okay. So now, as you see here, Alt 2, autopilot is engaged, isn't it? Heading mode is engaged, and also Alt altitude stabilized. We will stabilize exactly 2000 feet. Here it is. You say 2,000 feet exactly. Straight and level flight already. We see that the plane accelerates. I reduce my speed, okay? And we deviate from our flight plan. According to the faucet, there are two ways to go back to my route, isn't it? Either with CTRL plus insert, little by little. You see here the magenta sign. But as I said, this is quite dangerous because you may have a crash, and so better use the knob 180. Here it is. Our plane is turning. We toggle, as we said earlier, between our saved camera views, our wonderful camera views. There is a tutorial how to go outside of the plane. This particular one, I mean the Cessna 172. Just monitor your speed a little bit, this 100 here, or if you prefer, here, exactly 100. So now we go back to our course. Of course, I suppose you all know, and my friend Abasi also knows, that I can use these knobs here for heading, to activate the heading mode, and this knob here, nav, to activate the navigation mode. When we say nav mode, of course we mean the lateral navigation, not the vertical navigation, isn't it? So now it is getting interesting. As soon as we will reach Vilnius Airport again, isn't it? This is the beginning of our flight plan. The command, ladies and gentlemen, will be CTRL plus N. So, the moment of truth. Somewhere here, have a look. Heading hold, CTRL plus N. GPS. Here it is. Here it is. Success. Let us toggle between the camera views. Hands-free, of course, isn't it? Here is the airport. Here is the airport. A bespoke airport, a wonderful airport. First day that I see bearable weather in Vilnius. As you see, of course, I keep my altitude. Altitude is in the autopilot set, 2,000 feet, as we said already. We are hands-free. Here you see that now we use GPS mode, isn't it? Okay. And now the plane will try to follow our flight plan. I hope so. Exactly. Wonderful. Hands-free. Everything is on autopilot. Please be a little bit patient, and I will show you how to adjust these two commands on your settings. Exactly, straight and level flight. Let us have a look again. Let us have a look again. Okay. Now once again, I will change a little bit my heading. Exactly. North, let's say. And have a look please again. Alt 2, I bring this camera, and now if I want to change to heading mode, as we said, I will either press here this knob, heading select, or I press, and this is exactly what I will do, Alt H together. Please have a look here. This GPS will change and we will have the heading mode activated. Here it is, heading mode, here exactly. Wonderful. Now we are turning again to the north. I toggle, as we explained earlier, between my saved cameras. You see the plane here on the VFR map. I want to go to the town. Ashnoriu Miesta. I want to go to the town. Can we go to the town for a while? I would like to go to the town. And it is a scenery, this one. I have two sceneries. One is the bespoke airport and the other is Vilnius town. Yeah, my hands is scratching right now. Let me go to the town for a second. Again, heading mode, isn't it? We see it here. We are on heading mode, hands free. Stand by, my head is on the knob. Okay, somewhere here, let's say. Straight and level flight again. I will not change my altitude. I would prefer to change my altitude so that we will have a better visibility. But I think Neris Upe, Neris River here. A wonderful scenery. Meanwhile, of course, we deviate, isn't it? We forgot the tutorial, the Sky Rappers in Vilnius. Labai gere, man patinka labai. Pirmą kartą mes matome Vilniaus miestą. Can I turn quickly again? Heading mode. 90 degrees. Okay. There is still time till we reach the airport again. Let us have a look at our cameras. Now I use actually the command Alt 1 until Alt 0. Here is Vilnius town. And here is Neris. Žalia tiltė, isn't it? The Sky Rappers. That is why we came here, for to have a look at Vilnius, but unfortunately the weather is not very good. Bokštas, Gedimino Bokštas. Čia yra. Here is the tower. And I suppose this is the cathedral, isn't it? Ir čia turi būti Gediminos gatvė yra. Žinoma yra. O čia yra Jūsų bažnyčia. Anyhow, business as usual, I must return back to my flight plan. We are on heading mode right now, isn't it? So, okay, I use the knob. No big deal. Also, please have this in mind. In order to activate the nav mode, you must be very close to your flight plan. This pink line here. If you are far from your flight plan, there is a big chance that you cannot activate the nav mode, lateral navigation mode, isn't it? So, Alt 2, hands free, heading mode, and as soon as the plane will reach here, our course, our flight plan actually, what we will press, we said, we will press CTRL plus N, and this will change from heading mode to nav mode, which is the GPS mode, isn't it? Now I use the K keystroke, the keyboard command. Have a look here. This is the easier way to have a look at the VFR map. As soon as we will reach, I can also magnify a little bit, as soon as I will reach the airport, I will press CTRL plus N, and automatically here you will see the mode changing from heading mode to nav mode. That being said, useless to say that, of course, we still are on autopilot. It is not only the heading mode that we have on autopilot, we also have our altitude and the vertical speed. Now here it is, have a look. The moment of truth, once again, I think this is the last time. Stand by, CTRL, now, CTRL plus N, here it is. You see? The mode changed, we see here GPS, this is the nav mode actually, and the plane is trying to line up with our flight plan, which is a simple flight plan that connects the two airports, Vilnius Airport, Vilniaus oro uostas ir Kaunas oro uostas, Vilnius Airport and Kaunas Airport. Here it is. Exactly, you see. So now I will exit and I will show you how to adjust these commands, and then I will answer also the core of the question of my friend Abbasi, if it is possible to toggle between the two modes or any other modes of the autopilot. Okay, we are on course, isn't it? So escape. I can as well close now the VFR map. Escape. Controls. Okay. In order not to lose much time, okay, I told you which are the commands, and I will write immediately the commands so you will see what you can adjust here on your controls. Of course, we use the keyboard, isn't it? Not the mouse and not the joystick or the yoke, whatever you have. So here, actually this is easier to find. Here I type Alt plus H. Here it is. Alt plus H, you see? So you will find this one, autopilot, toggle autopilot, heading hold. You will go here, I will not change my settings. You will delete whatever you have, clear current input, and then you will type Alt plus H. This I always don't like to do, but anyhow, I will show you how. Okay, clear current input. Alt plus H. Here it is. Validate. This is exactly what you will do. Now, if you don't want to follow this way, there is also another way. Toggle autopilot. I type here toggle on the search. Autopilot. Here are all the commands of the autopilot. And our command is this one exactly. Toggle autopilot heading mode. Alt H. Now the second one, the truth is that it is extremely difficult to find. I mean, the command, the keyboard command to activate the nav mode, which either actually will be what? It will be either the GPS mode, or it will be the approach mode or the lock mode. Okay, and also it can be the vertical navigation, which is another command, of course. Now we're talking about the horizontal navigation here. So if you type here, for instance, nav, you see, there are so many commands. And the problem is that actually nav, this nav mode, nav navigation, stands also for the navigation mode and also for the frequencies. We have the two frequencies, nav 1 and nav 2. This makes our task a little bit more difficult, you see. All this here, for instance, are the frequencies. Anyhow, this is not about the frequencies actually right now, isn't it? So here you see how many commands we have concerning navigation actually, isn't it? Even nav lights, you see, for instance, taxi lights, nav lights, somewhere I think I saw it, isn't it? No. And if we go here to the autopilot, here it is exactly this one. Autopilot nav 1 hold, CTRL plus N. But since I don't use it a lot, I can leave it as it is here, CTRL plus N. I would suggest you to change this and to put here Alt plus N. And then at the end you press validate. So, anyhow, validate. I didn't change something, isn't it? Because there is also another way to search. You can type, for instance, autopilot. You remember the previous command was toggle heading mode. I'm sure about it. Here it is, toggle autopilot heading mode, Alt H. But unfortunately, there is not a command toggle navigation mode or toggle navigation hold. Type autopilot, you see all these commands that I have already set. You may have a look if you are interested. Concerns the localizer, the heading mode, everything. But unfortunately, there is nothing. I mean, you don't find any toggle navigation mode. Yeah. This is also very handy, this toggle autopilot attitude hold. This is quite interesting. You don't change nothing, you just keep the attitude of the plane, either when you're climbing or when you're turning or when you're descending. But anyhow, this is not this tutorial about. So one last time, the command that you are searching for is ctrl plus n, search by input and not by name. Here ctrl plus n. Here it is. You will find this one, autopilot nav1 hold. Or if you want, you can type here, isn't it, autopilot nav. Here it is, nav1 hold. Go here, press here, validate, and you are done. And don't forget to apply and save, isn't it? Go back. Shall I go to land? I don't want more tutorial. I wanted to go to the town of Snorrium yesterday.
Make left base runway 19er.
We are given which one?
Dragon Tree 9er heavy wind 192 at 12.
Oh, we have also some wind.
19er.
19er, okay. Acknowledge, 1.
Clear to land runway 19er Dragon Tree 9er heavy.
So I don't need the ATC window anymore. I bring the VFR up again. I'm on heading mode, so I will go closer to the airport. Simple things, isn't it? Now, what to say? There is not many things to see. Here, this is important, XTK. About this XTK, I have talked many times. It is cross-track distance. Now, why XTK means cross-track distance? It have nothing to do with the abbreviation. I don't know. And to be honest, I don't care. Let us start descending, for instance. Again, the commands. Let us go to 1000 feet quickly. Alt V now. It is not about these commands actually. Steep, steep, steep. Let's say 1.5000 feet. And somewhere here we must find the runway. Okay, I think I can also start turning to 190, isn't it? And I accelerate quite a lot. Yeah. I descended quite too much. Of course, I know the elevation. It is not 1 to 2000. Okay, so once again I turn to 190, let's say. Exactly. I don't worry much because I know the elevation. I mean, no matter how tall the trees are, we will not have a crash. Please don't worry. Yeah, just to remember not to stall. And let us go to land. Everything on autopilot. This is totally bad now. I'm too close to the runway. But you know, this is not about the perfect landing. So I disengage the autopilot. Enough is enough. Let's say. I want to land and to finish this clip. I suppose I know how to land the Cessna. I mean, usually we land the Boeings here, isn't it? Why always the basic puppy lights here are white? I don't know. So, flaps. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not, of course, you know, record my landing. There is no reason. I just want to land and to exit the runway. Yeah, we have some wind. Okay. 61. Rate of descent about 100. Okay, let it be. Can I exit already?
Dragon Tree 9er heavy turn, next taxiway.
Okay, I will turn next taxiway.
Echo Yankee Victor Kilo Airport Information Sierra 12000 Zulu.
118.205 Dragon Tree 9er Heavy. Goodbye.
Shall I taxi normally? I mean, okay, I can as well close this. Come on, 2.
Vilnius Ground Dragon Tree 9er Heavy taxi to the gate.
Let us taxi to the
Dragon
gates
Tree
and
9er
let
heavy
us
taxi to Gate Whiskey 1 using taxiway Lima.
exit. I think the... yeah, okay, here it is. Isn't it occupied? Shall I park under the Airbus here? Can I?
Dragon Tree 9er heavy, did you hear my last transmission?
Yes, I did. Okay.
Taxiing to Gate Whiskey 1 via taxi.
You see, there is another
Dragon
plane
Tree 9er
here.
Heavy.
Finnair. Now I feel, how to say, I feel small right now. I mean, I feel small. Okay, I will not disturb the plane. Don't try this. I mean, we're too close to the turbines, isn't it? Okay. Last but not the least, I would like to answer this. About the question of my friend Abbasi. So now, if the question is there any combination, any keyboard combination that you can toggle between the different autopilot modes, nav mode, heading mode, whatever? Ladies and gentlemen, with all my heart, my answer to this question would be no, there is not. You can use your keyboard and go from the one mode to the other with these 2 commands that I showed you. I mean Alt plus H for heading and CTRL plus N for GPS mode, navigation mode. You can as well change it to the settings to Alt plus N if you prefer. And to be honest, I don't think that this is a wise thing to do. Here, we flew, let's say, with the Cessna with a speed of about, how much was it? 50 knots, 60 knots, 80 knots, 100 knots. But when we fly with the Boeings, and usually we fly with the Boeings, our speed is, let's say, even about maximum speed, 300 knots, 330 knots. And as we see, when you toggle between different applications, for instance, if we have a look at the camera here, the saved camera, I mean, K, isn't it? We don't have the luxury to choose which camera we will see. It will be next camera, with K, next camera, or previous camera with Shift K. So I was thinking that if exactly the same thing you do with the Boeing, this would be quite dangerous. I mean, if you toggle between the different autopilot modes, that means that you have, let's say, heading mode activated, and suddenly, with a speed of 300 something or 250 something knots, you go to another mode, which will be the nav mode, for instance. Well, this is quite dangerous. I don't think this is a wise thing to do. And I suppose this is the reason that you cannot toggle between different autopilot modes with just one knob or with just one button. It is better to select, let's say here, the mode that you prefer. You can as well click here, all these knobs here, and to select your desired autopilot mode, or to use the commands that I showed you. It can be extremely dangerous, and since when we toggle mode we don't have the luxury to choose which one will be first, which one will be second, it will be just a sequence of different modes, as exactly it is here, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. So ladies and gentlemen, this is all for now. Thank you for watching this clip, and I hope to see you soon to the next one. Till then, let me go down the stairs. Till then, ladies and gentlemen, you take care. You take care and bye for now.